Ken here with Gardening Simplified. It's January 22nd, and we're going to be doing some more seed starting, and we're going to take a look and see how some of those seeds that we've already got up are doing. So let's take a look. First thing we're going to start planting here is cilantro. Cilantro is a good cold weather plant. When we plant this, we'll plant about a dozen or so seeds in each cell tray. It makes it easier for harvesting. We can just harvest a bunch and cut it. Now we're planting quite a few because we do a market garden, but you won't need that many for like household, unless you plan to preserve it, because it does freeze well. Once it gets ready, you can vacuum pack and freeze it, or we like to freeze dry ours. But when you freeze it, it tastes just as good as fresh. It just won't have the same texture. So most things you're using in that won't matter. But anyway, she's going to continue to plant this. Now, it will take cold weather. It'll take temperatures that go below freezing. But when it does get low like that, it grows real slow, and it might turn the part of the leaves purple on it from that cold weather. But the flavor is still just as good. Once you get them all planted, make sure you cover them up good. Now, cilantro germinates best when it's nice and moist. It takes probably a little bit to germinate it. Even half of the cilantro seed will germinate. So if you have any, don't worry about throwing them out. Just drop them in the holes too. But anyway, we'll finish planting this, and then we'll get on to the next one. We'll water these in good. Next, we're going to be planting celery. Now, its seed is kind of small. We just drop a few in each hole. Now, for those of you that buy packets, you might worry about your seeds and how many you use. Now, we buy ours bulk, whether it's at a local feed store or at a commercial greenhouse supply. But for what you give for a packet, you can get a good scoop of seeds. If you go to your local feed store, most of them carry seeds like that. But anyway, she's going to get all these planted, and we're not going to cover these. When we water them in, what little bit of soil might get on them, or starting mix that we have that might get on them, and cover them, that'll do good. But what happens is, for me, I notice they don't germinate good if I cover them a little bit. So once we water these in and we put a little dome on it, keep the moisture in, they'll germinate fine. But celery is slow growing to start with, and we're just a little bit late for our time of year to start, but that's not going to be a problem. Now we're planting red cabbage. This is red acre. Kind of like the flavor of it. My seeds seem to be a little bit slower to germinate, so we're doing about 4 seeds per cell. If they all come up, or more than one come up, we'll just thin them out. Sometimes we miss and one comes up later after they've got big and get ready to transplant. Sometimes we'll just pull out one of them and plant it in another hole, or set it somewhere else in the row and let it fend for itself. But this is going to be the last seeds that we're going to plant for today, and we're going to take a look at some of the seeds we've already planted. We'll take a look at our flower seeds first. Now, these that are germinating here, these are bachelor buttons. These other seeds that are here, I can't see any germination yet. These were all started on the 12th, so but sometimes flower seeds are slower, and some of these seeds might have been old, so we don't know how well they'll do. Over here on our pansies, now we might not have good growth on these. We do have one little seedling right there coming up. But I think she might have planted these too deep, not knowing. She's kind of new to gardening, and I caught it afterwards. So we'll see if they come up. If they do, then we'll have some, but if not, the lessons learned. So now when we come over here, we've got, this is a butterfly flower here, and they're little bitty. This one's laying over. There's a few little bitty ones coming up. It's just starting. I'm going to move these outside where it's cooler now. And then these others are snapdragons. Now we put quite a few seeds in there, and don't you know, they all decided to come up. And over here we have Sweet Williams. They're starting to germinate. We're seeing little plants here and there all throughout, so we've taken the cover off of them. And up here at the top, these are our herbs. Now some of these are coming up and doing good. I still, my wormwood in this first slot, I don't see anything there, which is kind of disappointing. The second one is starting to germinate, and that's feverfew. I grew them last year, but I didn't have real success. And then at the second half, where we see little plants coming up. Now these are my romaine, the green romaine. So they're starting to germinate. They were older seeds. We do have in our peppers here, you can see at the back there, we've got some of our ghost peppers coming up, and we've got, looks like enough yellow scorpions coming up there. It won't be long. And then I've got some more that I planted later. Now we are starting to see a few fungal gnats in here. And over here in this one, we've got a few seeds germinate. Let me pull that out. Now we have a few coming up here, and I don't know what these are because she had mistakenly put the name of the company on there that sold the seeds instead of seeds, but I'm sure it's a flower. But we got another one here. Now these here are borage. They were some older seeds. We had a few, so we went ahead and planted a tray of these, and we're going to plant some more that's here probably in the next week or so. Now let's go outside and see what we got growing. Out here at our grow station, we've got, our dill is doing real well. We've got some Savoy cabbage here. It's going to need thin. We've got a few that's got extra, and then we've got our gypsy broccoli, and it'll have to have some on thin too. This is our Mitchahili right here, and then this last one's our bok choy, which both of those will have to be thinned out. Now down here, this is our mixed lettuces, and we've still got a few that haven't come up because we've got about 6 different varieties in here, but once some of them started germinating, I brought them out here so it's cooler. Over here, we've got some basil and some other herbs, and then at this end, this is our red romaine. And down here we have our black seed lettuce, black seed Simpson, and then we've got our butter crunch, and it's starting to come up. And down here, and it's always hard to see, but this is our red cabbage that's coming up, and it's kind of spotted, and that's why we're planting some more to take care of that. We have a lot of propagation going on here. Now let's see. We come on up, and these are all our peppers that we potted up just a little while back that you've seen. They're all doing good. Let's say now these are actually on a heat pad because it's been kind of cool out here, so we want to get them to some size, but as you can see, it's not enough with the amount of light we got to cause any legginess, because The cooler temperature out here is kind of keeping them down just a little bit. Now we do have another tray out in the greenhouse of transplants. They're almost ready to go in the ground. We'll probably leave them a little bit longer because we've still got some cooler temperatures. It's not going to hurt them if they are, but they're kind of getting acclimated. A lot of these that's in here, I'll go ahead and move to the greenhouse. I've got enough room that I can cover them if it gets cold. But out there in the greenhouse, we've got a tray of gypsy, not gypsy, early Jersey cabbage that we're going to put out, because most of you that watched, we lost quite a bit of our cold weather plants. It's always a gamble whether they'll make it through or not. And this year we decided we weren't going to do a whole lot of work covering them and then end up losing them like we did last year. So that's where we're setting on our seed starting. Let me know how you're doing, where you're at, or if you've started any yet, what your plans are. And here in a few days we'll take and we're fixing to start our tomatoes, probably maybe the end of this week or next week, and we're going to start our roselle hibiscus. Just like I say, let me know how your garden, even if you're just preparing it. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe, give her a big thumbs up, and share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.